You know, at Emet, we're always trying to discover ways to inspire our students. That's our mission, that's what we're here for. We felt that a trip to Eastern Europe, and to Poland in particular, would be the way to do this. When we talk about the Emet Poland trip, we're talking about a very unique type of program. We're not just going to view what happened in the terms of the tragedies and the suffering of the Holocaust. We're really going to discover something much deeper. We're really trying to discover really what it means to be a Jew and what it means to live like a Jew.
This discovery was not only for the students, but for the staff as well, and something that is a life-changing experience.
Say hi, sorry about that. Okay.
This was the first trip of its kind for Emet, and we were excited and nervous and anxious and all things to get it done, to see how the students would appreciate it and whether we would connect.
I experienced things I could never have thought of, and it's totally different when you see it in real life compared to as when you see it on paper or read about it or even just hearing about it.
It really was life-changing. It changed the way that I viewed Judaism, and it changed the way that I connect with Judaism.
After that trip, I decided to wear a kippah every day, and since then I've been wearing a kippah every day.
I never would have thought that it would change my life as well, that I'm not the same person before the trip as I am. I feel so much more motivated and so much closer to Hashem, closer to my family.
We had ups, we had downs. We went from being at a children's memorial and everyone in tears to singing and dancing in the middle of the street in Poland.
I think a lot of it had to do with the preparation that we had given the students. We gave 10 lectures over the span of a semester to get them prepared.
At Emet, we feel that education is the main way a person grows. And it wasn't supposed to just be a trip. What we wanted is that it should first be a learning experience where we study and we engage ourselves academically and intellectually. And from there, it culminates in this experience. We show them the places where Jews lived, and we take them and we give them a history of what Jewish life was and who these great rabbis and thinkers were who so influenced our study today. In searching to understand the Holocaust and understand the death of 6 million, each life is a world, bifnei atzmo, a world by itself. And we talk about 6 million, our minds really can't comprehend it. And yet we have to, we seek to, we look, and there's something inside of us that calls out, I want to know, I want to understand. It was at this time that Rabbi Delman was walking through this field and very emotional and lost in his thoughts and thinking.
All I could remember saying to myself is, God, no, it can't be, it can't be, it can't be.
He's down on the ground and he points to a sign. I start reading the names of his children. And he says, those are my grandparents and my great-grandparents. That was the town that they were from. For 75 years, it's been a mystery. Where did they die?
I found one Jew out of 6 million Jews that were murdered in the Holocaust. Hashem brought me to the grave of my great-grandparents, and that I was privileged to have my students there to witness it as well.
That was a memorial for him, and he had never known that before. He'd never been to Poland before.
You got to see it to believe it.
When one walks around at the field, one notices small white stones. We asked the students to gather some of these. What appeared to be white stones were actually porous on the bottom, fact, they weren't stones at all, they were bone. Nobody can explain it, but when it rains on these fields, the bones of close to 500,000 Jews rises to the surface. We took a handful of these bones and we did a kvura, we did a Jewish burial. Maybe the bones we're burying right now are the bones of Rabbi Delman's grandparents, great-grandparents. So that message of not just how they died, but how they lived is really the message we're trying to convey to our students. The richness that was Jewish life before the war, the transmission that they must have received from their parents and generations before to live like that.
Just going there is really the only way that you can understand exactly what happened.
And they come out still loving God, and that really hit home to me, that I should, appreciate everything I have every single day.
Every student that goes is touched by it, deeply and meaningfully. We're trying to enable young Jews to realize how special they are. We have to realize that Jews are brothers and sisters. And the backdrop of Poland, the backdrop of the glory of what Jewish history was, and the tragedy of the last century, is perhaps the most powerful place to make that happen and to awaken Jews to who they are. And only when we unite and act in harmony with each other can we fulfill our noble and glorious purpose to bring the light of Hashem to the entire creation.